Think about this for a second. One day, the universe as we know it is just going to end. Not with some big explosion, but with a slow, cold, quiet fade into absolute nothing. But what if that wasn't the final word? What if consciousness, what if life, could find a way to outlast everything? Well, let's dive into a seriously mind-bending possibility.
So here it is, the ultimate question. Could we, or any intelligent life that comes after us, actually find some kind of loophole in the laws of physics to survive the end of everything? I know, it sounds like pure science fiction, but some physicists are looking at this and thinking the answer might be a very surprising yes.
Okay, so to even begin to understand how to survive, we first have to really get a grip on what we're up against. We are talking about the heat death of the universe, a future so bleak, so empty, it's honestly hard to even wrap your head around.
I mean, just look at this. This is the long, slow death of the cosmos. Every last star will flicker out. Entire galaxies will literally dissolve as their stars just drift apart into the emptiness. Even the supermassive black holes, the monsters of the universe, will slowly evaporate over trillions and trillions of years. And what's left? A cold, dark, and completely empty void where nothing happens forever.
Yeah, pretty depressing, right? But here's the twist. Tucked away in the fundamental rules of reality, there might just be a way out. A way for some future civilization not just to witness the end, but to actually live through it, and maybe even beyond.
So how on earth could that be possible? Let's run with a hypothetical scenario. Let's imagine a civilization, about 100 trillion years from now. We'll call them the Noxans. They're the last intelligent beings left, and they have a plan to survive the eternal darkness. Just try to picture the scene. The very last stars in the sky are sputtering, about to go dark for good. But for the Noxans, who are masters of physics beyond our wildest dreams, this isn't an ending. No, this is the ultimate engineering challenge.
And their plan is audacious. First, they go around scooping up all the leftover energy from those last dying stars. They store it all in these colossal cosmic-scale batteries, giving themselves a power source for eons. But here's the thing, even that isn't enough to last forever. To really achieve immortality, they have to take one final radical step. They must completely change what it even means to be alive.
And this brings us to the absolute core scientific idea that makes their whole plan possible. It's a concept from the brilliant physicist Freeman Dyson, and it's often called Dyson's cold thoughts. This is the key. This is the whole shebang.
You know, the idea is actually elegantly simple when you break it down. Thinking, at its most basic level, is just computation. And computation costs energy. But, and here's the kicker, the amount of energy a thought costs is tied directly to temperature. As you get colder, you need way less energy to do the exact same mental work.
This table here lays it out perfectly. Just look at that first row. At our normal, warm-blooded temperature, a thought takes about a second and costs 20 joules. Now look at the second row. If you cut the temperature in half, the thought takes twice as long, 2 seconds, but it only uses half the energy. You see the trade-off? The colder you get, the slower you think, but you become ridiculously more energy efficient.
Okay, let's be super clear here. You can't just stick a human being in a cosmic refrigerator. This whole plan is impossible for flesh and blood. To pull this off, the Noxans have to take the ultimate leap. They have to upload their consciousness out of their squishy biological bodies and into artificial digital brains that can actually handle and take advantage of the incredible cold.
All right, so they have their energy, they have their new digital minds. How do they actually use this cold thoughts trick to make their power supply last? Well, they create a cycle of cosmic days and nights. Let me show you how this works.
So, during their cosmic days, they're on. They're awake, living these rich digital lives, exploring virtual universes, creating things we can't even imagine. But this, of course, uses up their stored energy. Then comes the cosmic night. They power down completely. Total hibernation. During this time, all they're doing is radiating their own heat out into the freezing void, getting colder and colder and more energy efficient for their next day.
And right here, this is where things get truly mind-bending. Because as the Noxans stretch their limited energy supply over these unimaginable timescales, their own experience of time becomes completely detached from what an outside observer would see. I mean,
As the universe ages beyond all comprehension, the Noxianes are still there. They watch the last stellar embers fade away. They are around to see the slow, patient evaporation of the first black holes. They are literally outliving time itself.
So how long could they actually live from their own perspective? The math is it's staggering. They could rack up a subjective experience of 2 trillion years. That is a 2 followed by 36 zeros. It's a number so vast, our brains can't even really process it.
From the outside looking in, their existence would seem completely frozen. A single thought, something as simple as, I wonder what I should create next, could take longer to process than the entire history of our universe, from the Big Bang all the way to today.
But, and this is the incredible, crucial part, for the Noxians themselves, nothing feels different. Because their perception of time slows down at the exact same rate as their thinking, their moment-to-moment experience feels perfectly normal. Those cosmic nights of hibernation, which last for eons, they pass in an instant because they're not conscious to experience them. It is a perfectly fluid, continuous existence.
So is that it? Have they cracked the code? Is true, absolute, literal infinity possible? Well, the universe might have a few final tricks up its sleeve that even the super-advanced Noxians can't get around.
Yeah, even this brilliant plan might have an end date. Dark energy, for example, could put a hard floor on how cold the universe can get, which means their efficiency would eventually hit a wall. Random quantum weirdness could corrupt their digital minds over eons, and hey, some theories suggest that even protons, the basic building blocks of their hardware, might eventually just decay into nothing. Forever is a very, very high bar.
But even if it isn't truly forever, the implications here are just profound. This idea suggests that consciousness isn't just some brief accident in a cold, indifferent cosmos. It could be the final chapter, the enduring story of existence itself, giving the universe meaning until the very, very end. And who knows, maybe even beyond.